In the Tuesday, November 4th episode of Young and Restless, teasers preview that Sharon and Nick rush to Noah's bedside, Holden keeps a secret for Audra, and Nikki worries about Claire's decision-making. Take a look through this Y&R Spoilers gallery for a look at that and some other drama coming up in this episode, and don't forget to check out the full spoilers video for the week. It appears that Mitch, Roger Howorth, or Matt, as Sharon believes, has some explaining to do to his wife Sienna, Tamara Braun. Does this have to do with Nick and Sharon's belief that he's someone else, or is she demanding answers about what happened with Noah? Nick, Joshua Morrow, is determined to find a way to meet with Mitch to determine whether he's really Matt Clark. Is the person on the other end of the phone providing a clue or updating him on Noah's progress at the hospital? Noah, Lucas Adams, appears to be awake. His face remains wrapped in bandages after the horrible car accident that happened when someone deliberately ran him off the road. Sharon Case, is there for Noah in his hospital room as Nick works to prove that Mitch is really Matt. Is it time yet for Noah's bandages to be removed, or will he need to keep them on for a while longer? Sharon watches as Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, C., and Victoria, Amelia Heinle, sit by Noah's bedside and talk with him. His grandmother and aunt, respectively, have been very worried about him and have flown out to Los Angeles to be with him and his parents. Nikki and Victoria take a closer look at Noah. Nikki gently places her hand on his shoulder, making sure her grandson knows she's there for him and ready to help in any way he might need. Nikki looks happy as Victoria gives Sharon a supportive hug. Are those tears of joy on Sharon's face now that Noah appears to be out of the woods and making great progress in his recovery? A drunk man, Mike Falco, seems to be confronting Holden, Nathan Owens, at Sienna's bar, the Shadow Box. Is this someone from Holden's past, back when he spent time with Audra? Audra, Zuleika Silver, is having drinks with that same man. Is this really happening in the present day, or is it a flashback to when Audra was in Los Angeles as well? Is there tension when Sienna and Mitch reunite with Holden, who introduces Mitch to Clare, Haley Aaron? Will the subject of Claire's Aunt Sharon and Uncle Nick come up during their conversation? Outside of the club, Holden and Clare meet up with Nick. Does he have an update on Noah for them, or is Nick sharing what Sharon said about Sienna's husband Mitch, an enemy they believed had died years ago? True to Holden's word, he does his best to charm Claire's mother, Victoria, and grandmother, Nikki, when he encounters them sharing a meal at the hotel's rooftop eatery. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. At the Abbott Manse, Jack and Kyle enthuse over Harrison's Halloween night, and then discuss Victor's plans to torpedo Jabot. This quickly turns to Kyle having to leave Clare in LA, and they rehash the issues. Kyle fears he's lost her. After Kyle whines about Holden and Audra, Jack advises him to stand back and let Clare sort things out on her own. Kyle tells him that Clare never responded to his text of Harrison in his costume. His son was so hurt and constantly asks where she is. Jack says the ball is in Clare's court and there's nothing he can do. Kyle thinks there is something. Prove Holden isn't who Clare thinks he is. It's risky, but he'll do it. After sex in Clare's hotel room, Holden tells her she was amazing. Clare admits it may have been the first time she truly let herself go, and assures him she has no regrets. Holding his hand, she declares that she's a new person. They wonder if he should stay the night, and if her family will interrupt. Once he gets dressed, she walks him out, kissing him at the door. Alone, Clare flashes back to the sex, and then to asking Kyle to stop smothering her. When she checks her phone, she sees the photo her ex sent her of Harrison in his costume. Soon, Victoria shows up and advises Clare that it's okay to focus on the here and now. That's what Cole would have told her to do. Clare admits that Holden has been showing her a new world, but she's gutted about missing Halloween with Harrison. She never wanted to hurt him. Her mom urges her not to feel guilty and learn to separate her emotions. Outside the shadow room, Sharon hollers, "This is impossible! Matt, you're dead!" at Sienna's husband, Mitch. He says she's confused and pushes past her as the bouncer comes out, and bars her from entering. Sharon rushes back to the hospital, still shaking. Warning that he'll think she's crazy, she explains to Nick that she saw Matt Clark. He reminds her he's been dead for decades. They sit down, and she recaps what just happened. They assume that he must be Sienna's husband, Mitch. Nick thinks it's possible Matt could have been involved in Noah's crash. It wouldn't be the first time that Psycho made their lives a nightmare. Nick, of course, needs to confront this guy himself. Sharon and Nick return to the shadow room, but the doorman won't let them in, even when Nick offers a bribe. The Newman tries calling Sienna. No luck, so he gets Sharon to distract the bouncer by showing him a picture of Noah while he slips in behind his back. Sienna isn't thrilled to encounter Nick inside. When he quizzes her about Matt Clark being Mitch, she's not receptive. He demands to see her husband, and she claims he's not there. Nick senses she's afraid and hiding something. Sienna thinks he's getting carried away and threatens to ban him. After he backs off and leaves, Mitch joins her, and she informs him that Nick thinks he's someone named Matt Clark. Nick joins Sharon outside and recaps what happened. Sienna definitely seemed rattled and is hiding something about her husband. They have to find a way to get to him when he won't see them coming. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of November 3rd reveals Nick Newman will manage to track down Matt Clark. Also coming up, Victor Newman will plan his attack. Plus, Noah Newman will open up to his parents, and Audra Charles will arrive in Los Angeles. Y&R spoilers tease Victor is more than ready to take down Jack Abbott once and for all. So, when he plans a sneak attack on Jabot, using the AI software, will the Abbotts be prepared to fight back? In LA, Holden Novak will be surprised to see Audra in town. He'll encounter her at the Shadow Room, having drinks with a stranger. Audra will want to know what he's been up to with Clare Newman. But will Holden tell her anything about his night with Clare? Meanwhile, after Noah wakes up, a relieved Nick and Sharon Newman will have a lot of questions for their son. However, will Noah be able to give them any answers? Will he remember anything about his car accident at all? Other Y&R spoilers tease Victoria Newman will be suspicious about Noah's car crash. Plus, Kyle Abbott will grill Clare about what happened in LA, and Lily Winters will once again berate Cain Ashby. Finally, Nick will grill Sienna Bacall. He'll tell her Sharon saw her husband Mitch, but she swears he's someone from their past named Matt Clark. Sienna will say she doesn't recognize the name, and she'll send Nick packing. However, never one to let the grass grow under his feet, Nick will eventually return to the Shadow Room to see the villain for himself. Rumor has it, Mitch will deny being Matt Clark. Of course, Nick won't believe him. Instead, he'll put him on blast. But will their confrontation turn physical? Hey, Y&R fans! Are you enjoying the new CBS Suds Are Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the soap scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group, or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless. Spoilers for the next 3 weeks, November 3rd to November 21st, reveal that fans will see Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall's twisted behavior. Sharon Newman will also end up in danger before some wedding day drama threatens to erupt. The week of November 3 to 7 will bring Matt's attempt to convince Sharon that he's really Mitch and not her old foe. Sharon won't believe that at all, and will get Nick Newman on her side when it comes to buying that Matt has really returned. Nick will ultimately back Matt into a corner, so he'll also know instantly this is the same man who caused so much pain in the past. Although Matt has been living a new life as Mitch for many years, he won't be able to outrun his mistakes and crimes. Nick's going to put Matt on full blast in a major showdown soon enough. We should also talk about Lucas Adams' debut as a Noah Newman recast, since Noah will emerge from his coma and get his bandages taken off. Sharon and Nick will quiz Noah, so they'll try to piece together what happened to him and how he got entangled in Matt's web. Victoria Newman will also get updates on some of the Noah details and try to make sense of the car crash he landed in. As for Sienna Bacall, she'll try to bury anything that might be incriminating. Sienna may not feel like she's getting the full story from Mitch aka Matt, but she'll do her part to keep them both out of trouble with the cops. Audra Charles will also head to Los Angeles and shake things up, But Holden Novak may not be happy about that, or the fact that he'll have to keep more secrets for her. As for Clare Newman and Kyle Abbott, a big fight is brewing. Kyle will push for answers about what happened between Clare and Holden in LA, so he may lash out if she admits they sizzled in her hotel room. During the week of November 10th to 14th, Kyle will no doubt become even more determined to prove to Clare that Holden is bad news. We'll see Kyle work harder to uncover whatever criminal activity Holden and Audra buried. Victor Newman will also heat up his rivalry with the Abbotts, thanks to the bold moves he's set to make. That AI program is the real deal and could wreak havoc, so Victor will hold great power. The week of November 17th to 21st will also bring some of Matt's twisted behavior, so Nick will have good reasons to believe danger is ahead for Sharon. You can bet Nick will be extra vigilant about protecting Sharon, but it may be hard to predict Matt's upcoming moves. Next, things could get more complicated between Phyllis Summers and Cain Ashby. Although Cain suspects Phyllis betrayed him, he can't deny that he finds her fascinating. Phyllis is also drawn to Cain's edgy side, so sparks could fly eventually. Of course, it's possible Cain will use their connection to manipulate Phyllis, so that's worth keeping in mind. Regardless, Phyllis is supposed to get a surprising new love interest soon, according to Y&R spoilers. Cain still feels like the most likely option, considering all their banter and innuendo lately. Since Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti's wedding will begin on November 21st, there could be some drama on the big day. Phyllis has tried to make peace with Danny's impending marriage, but she may not be able to resist stirring the pot a bit more. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Danny and Christine may have some last-minute surprises ahead of their nuptials, so don't miss all the excitement. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Clare Newman may end up pregnant by Holden Novak. Will Holden and Clare's Los Angeles passion lead to some baby drama back in Genoa City? Following Clare and Holden's sizzling hotel encounter in the October 31st episode, she could find herself with a bun in the oven. It only takes one time to make a baby, especially on soaps where women tend to be remarkably fertile for the sake of unplanned pregnancy storylines. There's no guarantee that Clare and Holden used protection. Even if they did, it's not 100% effective, and certainly wouldn't rule out the possibility of a soapy baby twist. Back in September, Clare herself may have hinted about a surprise pregnancy being in her future. Y&R fans may recall that Clare flipped out over Kyle Abbott's marriage proposal and wondered if he'd suggest having a baby next. Kyle cracked a not yet joke, but the baby mention in general felt like a potential clue. Perhaps Kyle will wind up heartbroken when Clare gets pregnant by Holden instead of him. Kyle has been working hard to steer Clare away from Holden and get his own relationship with her on track again. However, Kyle's pushiness backfired since it ultimately shoved Clare right into bed with Holden. Victoria Newman has also been concerned about Clare doing something impulsive she might regret. Clare could indeed regret surrendering to Holden temptation if she gets pregnant and has a permanent tie to him. It's one thing for Clare to be attracted to Holden and enjoy spending time with him. It's quite another to imagine this forever connection and have faith in Holden to be a good father. Once Clare gets updates on whatever horrible secrets Holden and Audra Charles are hiding, that could make her realize Kyle was right to worry and try to protect her. Unfortunately, that realization may come too late if Clare is already pregnant with Holden's baby when his shady news blows up. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Clare's life could get turned upside down one way or another, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, November 4th, reveals that Clare Newman will spark some panic while Holden Novak hides Audra Charles's LA arrival. For starters, Clare's ability to make good decisions will be called into question. Nikki Newman will grow deeply troubled over Clare's link to Holden and the risky moves she's making in Los Angeles. Clare ran away from all her Kyle Abbott problems and has been having a blast with Holden, but she's still suffering from a torn heart deep down. Nikki may fear that Clare will take things too far with Holden and find herself unable to get back on track with Kyle. Clare already enjoyed a bedroom romp with Holden, so Nikki may put the puzzle pieces together on that. Whether Nikki voices her concerns to Clare, Victoria Newman, or both, she'll indeed fret over her granddaughter. While Clare's actions spark some panic for Nikki, great news is ahead for Nick Newman and Sharon Newman. Sharon and Nick will take a time out on tackling the latest Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall mystery, since Noah Newman is about to awaken. Lucas Adams will finally make his first appearance in the role, so it'll be interesting to see his spin on Noah as he settles in. Noah will still have his bandages on at first, but those will be removed before long. Y&R spoilers say Noah will be disoriented when he emerges from his coma, but Nick, Sharon, and his doctors will be there to help him make sense of his current situation. Next, Audra will arrive in Los Angeles and cross paths with Holden, but he'll apparently keep quiet about her showing up in town. Of course, Holden will continue to keep Audra's past secrets quiet as well. That'll be partly about protecting Audra, and partly about protecting himself, since Holden helped clean up her mess years ago. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra will eventually stir up some trouble at the Shadow Room, so stay tuned for updates on all the twists and turns. When I first heard that The Young and the Restless had hired Emmy winner Roger Howorth, I was stoked. There's literally nothing the guy can't do, from moving One Life to Live viewers past the heinous crime Todd committed against Marty, to convincing General Hospital fans that Psycho Franco was Elizabeth's Mr. Right. But then it came out that the soap opera wasn't just playing Sienna's husband Mitch on Young and Restless. Mitch is also really Sharon's back-from-the-dead rapist, Matt Clark. I'm a lot less stoked now. I'm mystified too. Why would the show recruit an A-lister like Howorth and then saddle him with a character who's too villainous to ever be redeemed? It's not like any of us are going to cheer for Matt to live happily ever after with Sienna. We want him behind bars 10 times over. Once everyone else finds out about Mitch's secret identity, who would even want to be in the same room as him? The fact that Howorth is playing vindictive Matt points to another problem the show has had the last few years. Whenever things get dull, it just dusts off another antagonist from the past or makes up a new creep. By and large, these baddies always seem to be aimed at Sharon too. Young and Restless sprung Cameron from prison and had him immediately begin tormenting the object of his obsession again. The show reintroduced Ian and made up a sister for Loco Eve Howard to mess with Sharon's meds and chain her in a freezing sewer. Then, somehow, the daytime drama twisted up Sharon and Phyllis in Cuckoo Martin's bizarre psychological experiment. Is that just Sharon's storyline now? She's only ever killing time between lunatics before returning to the front burner when someone's on hand to kidnap her? I have no doubt that Howorth is going to give a tremendous performance. He always does. But Matt skews awfully closely to the original version of One Life to Live rapist Todd to possibly feel like a fresh challenge for the versatile actor. And given the big problem Young and Restless is having with its male characters, read all about that here, it could have really used Howorth and a Mitch who isn't Matt to shake up the status quo. For his part, Howorth is delighted. Having worked with head writer as executive producer Josh Griffith on One Life to Live, the vet tells Soap Opera Digest, "I trust him completely. We want to do the same, but Matt never paid for what he did to Sharon. We can't imagine any scenario in which the serial rapist has any long-term future in Genoa City." The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Kyle Abbott will ask if Clare Newman and Holden Novak went to bed together. Kyle will demand the truth about Holden and Claire's LA bonding. So will Claire spill the real story? Kyle already knows that Holden was showing Claire all the top sights of Los Angeles, so he wasn't happy about that. Since Kyle doesn't trust Holden at all, he's concerned about all the time Claire's been spending with him. Now that Kyle is back in Genoa City, he's even more worried than before. Kyle can't keep an eye on Claire this far away from LA, so his mind is no doubt wandering to some pretty terrible places. Of course, Claire is entitled to do whatever she wants now that she's a single woman. It's really none of Kyle's business what Claire is up to since she broke things off before her trip with Holden. Nevertheless, Kyle is both jealous and uneasy about Claire hanging out with a troublemaker who could break her heart. That's why Kyle's on the verge of confronting Claire, so he can get some Holden-related answers. On November 7th, Y&R spoilers say Kyle will corner Claire and push for the truth about what happened in LA. It sounds like Kyle will specifically ask about Holden and the nature of Claire's relationship with him. Claire was just friends with Holden when they left for Los Angeles, but Kyle may sense that they're more than that now. Kyle might flat out ask Claire if she went to bed with Holden. but she may dance around the issue at first. It's easy to imagine Clare pointing out that she doesn't have to answer that question, since Kyle doesn't get a say in who she lets passion erupt with. Even so, Kyle might keep pushing until Clare finally blurts out some big news. Perhaps Clare will confess to sizzling in that hotel room with Holden and leave Kyle reeling. Kyle will likely suspect that Holden took advantage of Clare somehow, but she may defend him as a gentleman and argue she did exactly what she wanted that night. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Clare's updates could leave Kyle both furious and heartbroken, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless star Kate Linder has been in Genoa City since 1982. Now the actress, who has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and a Silver Circle Award from the Daytime Emmy folks, has something else to celebrate. Linder is celebrating her birthday on November 2nd. The actress has been a mainstay on Y&R since 1982. When she first debuted as the late Catherine Chancellor's maid, she didn't even have a name. It wasn't until a few episodes later that Linder saw Esther's name among the show's cast of characters. Legend has it that Cooper ad-libbed Esther one day when calling out for her servant, and the handle stuck. In 2008, Linder received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She was honored with a display at the Hollywood Museum in 2022. Last month, she and other daytime dignitaries, including Jane Elliott and James Reynolds, were honored by Natus with either Gold Circle or Silver Circle awards. Born in Pasadena, California, Linder attended San Francisco State University, earning a BA in theater arts. Not only is the actress known for her run as Genoa City's most famous maid, she's also known to United Airlines flyers, as Linder works for the airline as a flight attendant. In addition to her role on Y&R as Esther Valentine, which Linder has taken over to The Young and the Restless's sister soap, The Bold and the Beautiful, the actress's credits include Archie Bunker's Place and Bay City Blues. Linder has lent her name to many charitable organizations, including TV Cares, the TV Academy's AIDS fundraising and awareness organization, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the March of Dimes Canada's Conduct IVE education program. On the big screen, Linder appeared in the 2016 Gary Marshall film Mother's Day, which starred Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, and Kate Hudson. It was Marshall's final movie. Linder appeared in the 2023 film A Little White Lie, which starred Hudson, Zach Braff, and Don Johnson. On Y&R, Linder worked for years opposite Cooper's Catherine. Esther and Catherine nearly parted ways after Norman, a man Esther met through a dating service and married, turned out to be a conman and murderer. He killed Catherine's beloved Rex after Rex caught him trying to rob Kay's safe. Esther, grief-stricken and guilty, packed up little Kate and headed out the door of the Chancellor Mansion. Catherine saw past her grief and told Esther that she could stay. Linder and her husband, Ron Linder, were wed on February 14, 1976, and remained together until his passing in 2017. Y&R's Michelle Stafford and Michael Graziadei took on the latest TikTok trend. Michelle Stafford is all about having fun lately, and we are here for it. The Young and the Restless star and her on-screen son, Michael Graziadei, teamed up to take on one of the viral TikTok trends. If you've been on TikTok, you've likely heard the Four Non-Blondes and Nicki Minaj mashup. It's a combination of What's Up and Bees in the Trap, which hits for so many users on the social media platform. Michelle Stafford teamed up with Michael Graziadei for a rendition of the trend. It was shot the same day Eric Braeden showed off his dance moves with the Y&R cast members, and both were a part of that too. Graziadei took on the Four Non-Blondes part, opening up the video while lip-syncing the lyrics. The chill vibe fit perfectly. Stafford took on Minaj's part and got into it with the moves, channeling her inner Phyllis Summers. They clearly had fun with the trend, and it highlighted the ability to have fun behind the scenes on Y&R. She captured the share, "'Cause all the kids are doing it. It's our turn." Aside from Michelle Stafford and Eric Braeden sharing videos, Courtney Hope and Melissa Claire Egan also enjoy getting in on some dancing. The Y&R cast highlights the joy they find in the workplace, and many of them have relationships that extend beyond their roles on the CBS soap. With the focus on having fun and keeping up with some of the latest TikTok trends and viral dances, Stafford and her co-stars are keeping their fans entertained and coming back for more. Kyle celebrated Halloween with Harrison and dressed up as a pig. It was a win-win for everyone. Kyle had some wholesome Halloween plans. He flew back home to Genoa City to celebrate the holiday with his son Harrison. Fans of The Young and the Restless felt Kyle redeemed himself with this move. Kyle refused to give up on his relationship with Clare. First, he surprised her with an engagement. Then, he followed her to Los Angeles. His third and final move was to try to gather information about Holden. Clare agreed to go to LA with Holden. She wanted to find herself outside of a serious relationship. However, their trip was abruptly interrupted by Kyle, who arrived with a bouquet of flowers. Y&R fans have been creeped out by his behavior. Some have claimed that he's borderline stalking his ex-girlfriend. In Kyle's mind, he believes that these grand gestures will win her over. Clare has told Kyle that she wants her space, yet Kyle has failed to give her that. He still thinks he can get her back if he gets dirt on Holden. In the meantime, he's trying to figure out how to take down Audra for ruining his relationship. He has yet to take accountability for his actions. Now, fans are seeing Kyle in a different light. Over on one soap opera message board, they noticed that he redeemed himself by celebrating Halloween with Harrison. They dressed up as pigs, which is a win-win in the viewer's eyes. I am not a Kyle fan, but when he dressed up as one of the 3 little pigs for Harrison and answered the door with him on Halloween, he gained a little bit of my respect, the original poster wrote. Kyle might be a disaster in his love life, but he's a good father and loves Harrison deeply, one person agreed. However, not all fans were moved by Kyle's behavior. He simply did what most parents would do on Halloween. No matter how his love life is going, Kyle does put his son first. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say Kyle redeemed himself, someone else argued. But they noted that the best part of all that was when Kyle put on the pig nose. Now that... Enjoyed. What are your thoughts? Do you think Kyle redeemed himself? Or do you think he was doing what most parents do? Sound off below in the comments section. The ceasefire is long gone for Jack and Victor on Y&R. The feud between Victor and Jack on The Young and the Restless is one for the books. These two men have been fighting for decades, and the gloves are off again, forcing fans to brace for a new Abbott-Newman war. Ever since Jack went to drastic measures to keep Nicky sober, Victor's hatred for him has been at an all-time high. Victor even used Kyle for a little payback against smiling Jack Abbott. Speaking with Soap Opera Digest, Bergman teased that now Victor has nothing but gut-wrenching hatred for Jack after the night in the hotel with Nicky. The rivalry is taken to a new level, and Bergman, for one, is thrilled to have a renewed reason for this legendary feud. Y&R fans, though, are a bit mixed when it comes to this historic soap battle. I'm so sick of Victor Newman and his vendetta against Jack Nani-Ir. Think of a new story writers, declared a fan on X. Another fan called the scene where Jack faces off with Victor after finding out the mustache has Cain's AI program. Classic Victor and Jack. And we agree. Here's the thing about this iconic soap rivalry. Two things can be true. Yes, Victor's vendetta and attitude toward Jack are played out, as is Victor constantly being on his high horse. That being said, this feud is also soapy goodness simply because of Braden and Bergman. Watching those two spar in a scene is pure gold each and every time. Sure, it's nice to see Jack and Victor have a ceasefire from time to time. Bergman and Braden nail those moments too. However, there's so much history between these two men that watching their rivalry heat up just fills us with nostalgia and also gives off a sense of normalcy. What do you think? Are you over the Jack and Victor feud or here for it? Let us know in the comments section below. The CBS soap star weighs in on Chelsea's love life. The Young and the Restless, Chelsea and Adam, just can't seem to quit each other. They have broken up 7 times in the last 14 years, only to reunite for an 8th time after a one-night stand that cost each of them a relationship. Melissa Clare Egan has shared her 2 cents on Chelsea's connection with Adam and Billy. The actress spoke with Soap Opera Digest to reveal that Chelsea will always have a special bond with Billy because he saved her. When Chelsea was struggling with her mental health, Billy literally pulled her off the ledge. It's because of that bond that Egan feels Chelsea will always defend Billy, even if Adam doesn't like it. She wouldn't be here, Egan explained about Chelsea having a soft spot for Billy. She also added that Chelsea still has guilt over cheating on Billy. With Adam after he saved her life, there's no question that Billy causes tension between Adam and Chelsea. However, those two are used to tension, trouble, and drama in their relationship. One thing Egan noted that constantly causes issues in the relationship is Adam's loyalty and willingness to do Victor's dirty work. Egan thinks this leads to Chelsea having to play the angel on Adam's shoulder to protect him from himself. He's still always going to be Adam. There's a little bit of a devil inside him too, but he's listening to Chelsea, which everyone knows is a smart move, the CBS soap star shared with the outlet. It's not lost on Egan that this is the 8th time Chelsea and Adam have been a couple. They certainly have a connection that keeps them finding their way back to each other. That doesn't mean they are endgame. Y&R is a soap after all, and very few couples go the distance. Even Egan admitted she has no idea what's coming for the couple, calling it the brilliance of being on the CBS soap. What was at one time a red-hot rivalry is about to reignite in a big way on Young and Restless. But will it be able to fire up the same passions in fans that it once did? Sadly, the matchup that viewers once relished most on the soap seems to have lost its appeal. Here's why, once upon a time, a Victor versus Jack clash equated to must-see TV. Even when the epic rivalry went through cooling-off periods, it could always be counted upon to thrill fans when resurrected for another go-round. But as a new battle looms between the Newman and Abbott, it's clear that viewers aren't as enthused as they'd once have been, and there may be a few reasons why. As Young and Restless spoilers tease Victor planning a sneak attack on his enemies, namely the Abbotts, Jack and Billy have managed to get on the same page just in time to try and head off the threat. Oh, and thanks to a behind-the-scenes photo of the actors involved running lines together, we know that won't be the end of it. Things are only going to ramp up from there. So, why are fans not champing at the bit for another taste of Victor and Jack going at each other's throats? One possible reason is that the premise for all of this renewed animosity is illogical and weak. Young and Restless fans tend to demand a certain level of believability in their stories, and Victor going after Jack because he helped Nikki is just too ludicrous. Fans aren't feeling it. The length of time the grievance has been drawn out, with all talk and no action, only makes matters worse. Had Victor gone after Jack with guns blazing in the immediate aftermath, it might have caught fire with fans. Now, it feels like months and months of ridiculous repetition. Further contributing to the poor reception of the story is that, as mentioned, Young and Restless viewers have been watching Victor and Jack go at it for decades. It's time to begin handing the baton to the next generation, but that's not happening. At least, not effectively. On the Abbott side, Kyle's busy mooning over Clare, and Billy's too much of a hot mess to be a serious candidate to follow in Jack's footsteps. On the Newman end of things, Victoria and Nick are down in Los Angeles and not even involved, and Adam, arguably the most likely to succeed his father, has been relegated to writing mean stories and doling out Halloween candy. Finally, Young and Restless viewers have been trained, at this point, to expect a lot of talk and vague threats with no follow-through and little to no payoff. Will Victor actually take Jebo from Jack? It seems doubtful, therefore. It's tough to get too excited about the prospect. It's frustrating to not be able to invest in a rivalry rooted in such deep history. The good news is that bringing in the younger generations and having something huge actually happen in the story could definitely make the feud between these families must-see TV again. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Lily Winters is leaving Genoa City in the next couple of months. And that means Cain Ashby is not going to wind up with her, at least not for a while. Lily's exit may change a lot of things for Cain, including opening him up to other romantic options. We're going to talk about what happens after Lily leaves town for a lengthy time away. Cain may turn to somebody else, looking for comfort, looking for love, looking for some physical affection. So, Christelle Khalil is big pregnant, in case you don't know. News broke thanks to her co-star Courtney Hope, who posted a video on her Insta of the Young and the Restless cast and crew behind the scenes, doing the Thriller dance for Halloween. We all know the dance. We all love the dance. It was a super cute video, and it was even better because you could see Crystal Khalil's nice big round baby bump. As the Lily actress was dancing around, she was cradling her bump, showing it off, pointing to it with her hands. This is Crystal Khalil's third child she's expecting. By the way, she's got a 15-year-old son and a 1-year-old son, and then this baby in her belly is going to be boy number 3 for her. That means the Lily Winters actress will be heading out on maternity leave before too long, and that means Lily is going to be leaving Genoa City for a while. Looking at her bump, I'm just making a guess as a mom who's been pregnant a couple of times. I would estimate that Crystal Khalil is about 7 to 8 months along, since that's just one baby in there. So, I figure she's probably going to be giving birth around the end of the year, give or take, hazarding a guess here based on that bump size. Also, don't forget there is a 4-week tape-to-air delay for Young and the Restless, so Cain might be saying goodbye to his ex-wife in early 2026, maybe even along the lines of February sweeps when she exits. That kicks off at the end of January, by the way. The bottom line is Crystal Khalil will exit sooner rather than later. When she gave birth to her second son, Lily exited the Young and the Restless character canvas for a few months, with the explanation that she needed to go visit her daughter Maddie Ashby. That was the whole thing where there was a wildfire near her daughter's boarding school, and Lily went to be with her. To be honest, it was a very clumsily written exit. If you recall also, while she was gone, Daniel Romalotti got way too close to Heather Stevens, and that was what split up Lily and Daniel. This time, Lily's not dating anybody, but Cain sure wants her back in his life. Now, Lily has softened on him a little, but I doubt there's enough time left before her leave for anything to happen between her and Cain. So Lily might decide to exit Genoa City to get away from Cain and to be with their kids as the cover story for her maternity leave. And with Lily gone, we could see Cain heat up with somebody he's already close to, or maybe someone totally new to him. We've got a few ideas of where Lily's exit may lead Cain and who he might turn to and get romantic with in her absence. The first option for Cain, well, it's pretty obvious that's crazy Phyllis Summers. She has had her eye on Cain since before she knew he was the man behind the legendary Aristotle Dumas. And then once Cain revealed himself in France, then Phyllis was all about Cain. Phyllis has been determined to work for Cain and get close to him. She's been flirty with him from the start, and since then, Phyllis and Cain have been getting gradually, incrementally closer. Phyllis and Cain typically go back and forth between flirting and infuriating each other. There is a definite spark there. There's chemistry between Phyllis and Cain. And I think it's only a matter of time before they get physical, especially if Phyllis really is setting up Victor Newman for an epic betrayal. And blindside, like I am really hoping to see. We all know Phyllis stole Cain's AI program and gave it to Victor so he can destroy Jack Abbott, take over Jabot, and give that to Phyllis. But since Cain had a backdoor built into the AI program that he could secretly use to control it, I think Phyllis may use that. She may let Victor think he's controlling the AI and attacking Jabot, but Phyllis is really pulling the strings and is aiming it at Newman Enterprises instead. I mean, she may be doing the same thing with Victor that Cain was planning to do with Billy Abbott when he offered to let his fake brother use the AI. So if Phyllis double-crosses Victor, I think Cain would be super impressed and obviously would be happy that Victor got a karmic slap. Cain might be so impressed with Phyllis that sparks really fly, and they end up in bed. The next possibility for Cain as a romantic option once Lily leaves Genoa City is somebody who has not been on his romantic radar, and that's Audra Charles. I mean, she's single since Nate Hastings dumped her, and Audra is a town pariah, something she has in common with Cain. Plus, Audra already admitted in France that she thinks Cain is hot, which obviously he is. And let's be real, Audra is a total babe. So I could definitely see Cain commiserating with Audra about how much they're hated, and then turns to her for comfort. Plus, Audra might turn to Cain for a job if things don't work out at Abbott Communications. At this point, it seems like a long shot that Sally Spectra and Billy are ever going to get this company off the ground. And even if it does launch, Billy may convince Sally to exclude Audra from it. Last but not least, as a romantic option for Cain after Lily leaves Genoa City is Amanda Sinclair. We all know she has been Cain's close friend and confidant and lawyer for several years. Amanda already knows Cain's business, and she won't judge him. She never has. Amanda and Cain also have a really strong friendship. They have a lot of mutual respect for each other. They're both gorgeous. We haven't seen chemistry there, but that's to some extent because Amanda has not been around. But with Lily leaving Genoa City, we may be seeing a lot more of Amanda to fill that character void. You know, Amanda also has been single since Devon Hamilton did her dirty by cheating with Abby Newman. So, I feel like Amanda and Cain would actually be perfect together because they're already close. They kind of know everything about each other. There are no secrets there, and friendship can easily be the foundation for something romantic. We all know Amanda has a very deep history with Cain. And let's be real, both Amanda and Cain certainly need romance in their lives. With Lily out of the picture for a while, obviously any of these three ladies could be paired with Cain. However, when Lily returns to Genoa City, even if Cain's in a new romance by then, he might dump that woman if Lily decides to give Cain a second chance. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of November 3-7 reveals that Noah Newman will spill his side of the story, while Lily Winters totally loses it. Victor Newman will get sneaky as well, so here's what viewers can look forward to. In Los Angeles, Mitch Bacall will go into full denial mode as he faces Sharon Newman, so he won't confess to being Matt Clark. At least not yet. Sienna Bacall will rush to Mitch's defense during a tense discussion with Nick Newman, but she'll seem rattled about all the Matt accusations. At the hospital, Noah will wake up and ultimately get his bandages taken off. YNR fans will see Noah reconnect with his parents and offer his side of the story. Sharon and Nick will want Noah's version of the Canyon events, but they'll also ask about his visits to the Shadow Room and wonder why he's been so secretive for months. Later, Nick will catch Mitch, aka Matt, by surprise, so a fierce face-off is brewing. Like Sharon, Nick will know for sure he's looking into the eyes of his worst enemy. It's clear that Matt has an agenda involving Noah, so Nick will demand some answers, though Matt may not give him much information. Back with Sienna, she'll clam up when the cops come knocking. Sienna will hide her trail when it comes to the police, and presumably protect Mitch, aka Matt, too. Since Matt was previously obsessed with Sharon, Nick will have good reasons to worry about her. You can bet Nick will show off his protective side, but that may not be enough to keep Sharon out of danger. While Victoria Newman deals with suspicions regarding Noah's crash, Victor will be busy plotting back in Genoa City. It turns out Victor will come up with a sneaky strategy, so maybe he'll create a distraction as he unleashes the AI program. Trouble is brewing at Jabot, but Kyle Abbott will still make time for concerns about Clare Newman and her growing bond with Holden Novak. Although Kyle will want updates on Holden and Audra Charles' buried history, he'll soon become more interested in what Claire's been doing with Holden in LA. Will Clare admit she hit the sheets with Holden, or keep that news to herself for now? Whatever the case, Audra will cause some LA drama during her own trip there, but Holden will try to cover for her. Finally, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily will totally lose it on Cain Ashby, so her patience will officially run out. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, November 3rd reveals that Sienna Bacall will threaten to ban Nick Newman from the club and will deny that Mitch Bacall is Matt Clark. In Los Angeles, Clare Newman will feel like a new person after going wild with Holden Novak in bed, and will claim she doesn't have any regrets. However, Clare will look rather conflicted once she's alone and thinking of Kyle. Once Clare sees the photo Kyle and Harrison Abbott took in their Halloween costume, that'll clearly weigh on her. Clare will confide in Victoria Newman after summoning her mom to her suite. Although Clare will hype up all the incredible things Holden's shown her in Los Angeles, she'll feel guilty about missing Halloween with Harrison. Victoria won't think there's any need for that guilt, and will wonder who Clare actually feels she's letting down. Harrison or Kyle? Back in Genoa City on Monday's YNR episode, Kyle will complain about Holden and fret over perhaps never getting his relationship with Clare back on track. After Kyle tells Jack Abbott about his goal of exposing Holden and Audra Charles' secret, Jack will warn Kyle that he could seem jealous and pushy. Even if Kyle has to risk losing Clare permanently, he'll feel the need to open her eyes about Holden for her own protection. In Los Angeles again, Sharon Newman will continue reeling at the sight of Matt Clark, who's supposed to be dead. Mitch will insist Sharon is mistaken and head inside the club after telling his bouncer to keep her out. Sharon will try and fail to get back in the shadow room, so she'll return to the hospital instead. That's where Sharon will give Nick the news that Matt is somehow alive and going by the name Mitch. Since Mitch is Sienna's husband, Nick will have plenty of questions about how Noah Newman is tangled up in all this. Nick will believe Sharon's claims and will want to see Matt for himself, so they'll return to the club. After the bouncer stands his ground and denies the pair entrance, Nick will sneak in while Sharon creates a distraction. That'll give Nick a chance to grill Sienna again, so he'll bring up Sharon's run-in with Mitch, aka Matt Clark. Sienna will insist she doesn't recognize the name and shut down the idea that her hubby has an alias. Nick will sense that Sienna is on edge and scared, but she'll threaten to have him barred from the shadow room if he doesn't stop with all these interrogations. In the end, Nick will tell Sienna to do him a favor and pass along a message. Sienna will be instructed to tell Mitch that Nick Newman wants to meet with him once he's available. Despite Sienna telling Nick that Mitch had left for the evening, Mitch will resurface in the club and quiz Sienna about her last conversation. Sienna will explain that Noah's dad, Nick Newman, was there claiming Mitch was actually Matt Clark. Nick will rejoin Sharon outside and offer updates on his discussion with Sienna. Sharon and Nick won't know for sure how much Sienna knows about Mitch's real identity, but they'll realize she's uncomfortable and keeping secrets. Nick will decide the best course of action is to catch Matt off guard, so he'll plan to corner him for a surprise confrontation soon. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some Matt will have a few more tricks up his sleeve, so stay tuned.